Hello everybody, welcome on back to another brand new video. And of course, this is definitely the Lord of the Zombies speaking. That's right, I am the Lord of the Zombies speaking. And before this video can definitely begin here, is before we do, please be sure to give this video a like and comment and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified so that way that you won't miss a single dang video that comes straight onto this sixth channel, by the way. So before we continue right along in this video here, is I have actually decided to do something very, well, a little interesting, just something a little interesting to just get a little bit something interesting, just something interesting. Now, in this question, I pretty much would say, for an example, is that I'm going to be making a video that will be as the top 5 favorites of the Plants' favorite NFL teams. But just remember this, by the way, it is only just randomized. Just randomized. And also, for that reason of why it is randomized, by the way, is because, for an example, that the Plants, on the other hand, had chosen their 5 favorite NFL teams, which, the thumbnail will pretty much answer to you guys selves, by the way, for how top 5 or top 10 would work. And also, as in for like NFL players that the Plants might not be too familiar or sure with what their picks would be of like their favorites. Probably I'm not even really recently sure for that to ever say anything, but the Plants, like I said, have not considered choosing their favorites of what their favorite NFL teams would be. So that is pretty much why it is a very well thought out different idea at this point, but I'm not really sure why. But it just really is different. I'm just not really too sure on with it. It's just very different. And the whole video is going to be about the top 5 NFL teams that the Plants have chosen, by the way. And there is going to be a 10th one, by the way. Just want to let you guys know that there will be a top 10 favorite NFL teams as well. Same way as this video would be for 5, but now it'll be straight to 10 on the next video. That's probably what the next one's going to be about, which is even going to be even a longer conversation here. So at least I'll try hard likely to continue on with the talks of the conversation for a while, which I'll probably try my hardest to kind of see what I'm going to be doing. So let's just see what happens. But for now, as like I said before, ladies and gentlemen, it is time we get started on with this video, and it's time we actually get straight to the point of this entire likely of the video and the excitement. So this being said, it is time we get started here. Let's do this in straight likely right now. In 3, 2, 1, and let's begin the video. Let's do it. All right, everybody. Meant to say was all right, folks. Before I say anything about the number 1 spot that the Plants like is the Miami Dolphins team, well, particular as I say anyways, that I clearly am going to say that as myself as the Lord of the Zombies here, that the Plants' favorite number 1 main favorite team is Miami Dolphins, is because, well, the fact is that why they like the Miami Dolphins that much is because, well, the Plants, on the other hand, just likes the Miami Dolphins. They just like the water animal teams so far. I think they just like water animal team because it kind of relates to, what plants just look like exactly. It's just kind of a bit of a related thing about with water or dolphins or whatever. But at this point, anyways, as I can say to describe the point anyway, is that yeah, the plants on the other hand just likes, well, the Miami Dolphins and stuff, they just like to be like, oh, some kind of like water-ish kind of thing exactly about like relating to dolphins. So that's probably why they actually like choosing that idea. So, it's not my idea. I just think that the Plants just like their own idea about that team. So it's pretty much about that anyway. And oh yeah, before I say anything else but other questions too, is that at least the zombies will also have the same number as top 5 and 10, but more likely a bit kind of different, just kind of a bit different. So that is pretty much why I'd say this anyway, that yes, technically, the plants, on the other hand, are actually going to still consider what their picks exactly at 5 and 10. So it's pretty much why. And as for zombies, by the way, same thing. But this time it's just going to be different for them, by the way, other like the plants' opinions of their choices of what they like. So there you go. And also, the main other answer too, as I would describe my other point of the answer exactly, is I just wanted to say is like, yeah, at least we're gonna kind of see what actually does happen, whatever top 10 even does happen, which I know it's not next, but I think it might be next some point or time, whenever it's like, oh, when it wants to be next and whenever it's ready. So that's probably why. And also, there is going to be a thumbnail as well. Just want to let you guys know for an FYI that there will be a thumbnail exactly with pretty much like the secondary favorite, and then of course the very last of the end of the spot is probably 2 and 10. So that's probably why there's gonna be another thumbnail again. The same one that's gonna have check marks, and the same one that's gonna be the best, and same one that has X marks, and the one that has worst on it. So there's your guess's answer. And also, top 10 of the answer is going to probably remain a bit more differently with green, yellow, red. So that's probably why. So for now, guys, let's get back to the topic and let's just head into the next one of whatever the next one's going to be is the Plants' main second favorite team and also the secondary main favorite team, which even though that the Plants haven't condoned considering liking a secondary team, but they just might want to try that sometime if their first main favorites keep losing at some point, which we all know again, it's pretty bit logic, but whatever. So at this point, anyways, it's time we jump onto this video and continue right along with this top 5 segment. So here we go. Here comes number two, top 2 of 5. So the next one we have on our spot is the second favorite. All right, so the Plants' secondary favorite team will likely have to be is the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, in this reason, why did the Plants choose that secondary favorite idea? Well, to be honest with you guys already, that I think the Plants may actually have revealed their favorite secondary team will have to be Philadelphia Eagles, and I don't know why they would have chosen it, but I guess it is what it is, I guess. But I guess to say that, well, the Plants' reasons of why they like the Philadelphia Eagles is I think that technically speaking, that the Eagles did pretty much try winning a couple of times in the Super Bowls for a few amount of reasons, which I think that's probably why I'd say that the Plants have chosen the Philadelphia Eagles for some reason. But more likely to say, in full regard at least, is I think to say otherwise is I'm like, yeah, I guess that's probably what the reason's actually been about, since I have no idea either, but it makes sense from eventually from time to time, which does make sense anyway, of knowing why that the Plants would so-called would choose the idea of the Philadelphia Eagles, but I guess that's probably going to be an answer right now that yeah, guess that's probably an answer. So, for those who may or not know exactly, then that's probably why the Plants have chosen the Philadelphia Eagles because I think the Plants already like the Eagles because I think they've won a couple times against the cheater at the Cheating Chiefs exactly. And why did I say the Chiefs are cheaters? Well, again, one, I don't care. Two, they've always cheated. Three, they paid the refs. 4, who gives a crap about them anyway? But all I can say otherwise that, yeah, at this point, I think most of anyone else could have agreed to some points anyway from different points anyways that, yeah, I guess the Plants somehow, like the Philadelphia Eagles at this point, of the secondary favorite. Well, they've not even moved them to the first, but at this point, they just want to keep the Philadelphia Eagles their secondary favorite, not their main favorite. At the first spot, they've only considered choosing their main second favorite, secondary favorite. But whatever, man. Just, whatever. That's all I want to talk about. It's just like, yeah, whatever, bro. It's just like let the plants do what they want to choose at this point. But I mean, as myself as the Lord of the Zombies, that's just pretty different. But I wouldn't expect that much. Just wouldn't expect it. But anyways, let's just jump right on to number three of what the plants' third favorite would have to be considered and condoming their third favorite team exactly that is definitely on their third spot. So that being said, let's go and let's continue along what we're doing. The third favorite, everybody. So here is number three. And I say this now. Number three of the Plants' favorite team. That is number three. Number three would have to acquire and will acquire that number three will definitely be is Detroit Lions, which means that they have chosen their third favorite is the Detroit Lions. Now, in this reason why carried on is why did they like Detroit Lions? Well, as I can tell you guys anyway about Detroit Lions, that yeah, so far the plants have liked Detroit Lions for a matter of another reason. Is that the reason they like Detroit Lions is because I think the color of blue is pretty unexpected. Like imagine there was like a blue lion. Like, for an example, like imagine if there was like a blue within a lion. Get it? Like imagine there's a blue and a lion in it. Like for some reason I don't know why I find this a particular question, but I think it's just a kind of an interesting color question is I think that why the plants like this idea is why do they consider and condone an idea about like, oh, like in Detroit Lions is because, well, I think to say that Detroit Lions were doing somewhat impressive some other time overall in most other impressive ways that they've been trying to get to that, but yet so far kind of failed on a few other different fails a little bit between that from here and there, which I don't know why though, but I guess I'd say that yeah, the plants, well, they usually just have to say that the Lions are definitely the third favorite of Detroit, so that's pretty much the Plants' favorite. That their third favorite is Detroit Lions, which is all fair and game. So very much unexpected, but surprised. So there you go. And hopefully to say this question most likely for anyone else out there is that yeah, I think it's pretty like an impressive movement a little bit for the plants' choice to kind of like, oh, kind of big to kind of decide to just choose Detroit Lions anyway for like a different idea that I would have never kind of usually expected. But hey, I mean, who's counting at this point? Who's basically counting the point here? But to me, I'd say that wow, that is just like, well, not bad, I guess. Just not bad. Which that's all I have to say. That the Plants' favorite is Detroit Lions is their third favorite. So I'm like, damn, that's just like pretty crazy, as I'd say myself. Pretty crazy. So that's all I can tell you guys about that now. That's all I can tell you. But anyway, speaking about the next one here that we're going to be talking about, number four of top five, which we are pretty close to kind of almost end the video, almost exactly. We got two more teams to go about mentioning the top five exactly. And then finally, we can get to top 10. And then, of course, the zombies will get a turn about having their turns of top 5 and 10. So that's probably what we got next. So if you guys are ready for it, then we're definitely ready for the next one of 4 of 5. So that being said, as always, here we go, folks. Let's get it down and let's get it started. And if you guys are ready to see what the next one's going to be like, then yeah, I bet my own time life I'd say here we go. But anyways, here we go. Let's do this. Top 4 of 5. All right. So, next one we got here, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, that here it is. Number 4, or should I say top 4 of 5. What we have here of top 4 of 5 is that we have is the New York Jets. And Yeah, don't even ask. Don't even ask of why I would even ask that question. But for me, I just don't kind of care at this point. But for me, I just don't like the team. But as I can say as myself, that, well, technically, for those who have not seen my top 5 or top 10, pretty much my favorites or hated NFL teams, pretty much checked out on my main channel anyways for what my expressions are pretty much likely to be, since I've actually picked most some other teams of what my consuming favorites would be. So there you go. And let's focus on what we got already, since, well, remember this, by the way, this is only for the Plants' top 5 and top 10 favorites. It has nothing to pretty much be what my favorites are. This is only just about the Plants' video. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, the Plants' fourth favorite team is the New York Jets. Well, technically, I have no other surprise either, but I'd say anyway that, well, as I can say anyway, that I think that what they think about the Jets, well, to say as much, I think they've kind of did something a little different, which, as typical fails goes, or typical ways that they kept it doing exactly. But, as I say before, that I think that what the Plants thinks about the Jets, by the way, is the New York Jets is just like, mm, not too sure, but I guess they've been trying to do a bit pushing from here and there. I guess they've been trying to do a little push and a push, a lot more exactly, but just kind of fails on different results that just doesn't land that well. But who knows? Like, it pretty much continues or may still not continue, but as I can say otherwise, well, I guess we're just gonna have to keep figuring out and finding more ways how different that is gonna probably be. So there's you guys' questions. And that's pretty much what I can say, that the Plants' fourth favorite is the Jets. So I don't really know why, but I guess that's what the Plants' favorites would have to be, I assume. But whatever, though. Just whatever. But for now, guys, right now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time we continue on with the final number 5 top favorite, which this is what we've all are going about to be waiting for. So if you guys have been waiting for a long time to hear this next number of 5 of 5, or should I say top 5 of 5, it means it's about to be the very last next team that we'll be considering to be this one. So for those who are ready to see it, then it shall be and it will be gone. So here it is, everybody. It is time we begin this momentarily and begin this as of now, as what I can say. But for now, let's do this generally to start right this second. So here it is: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Here it is, folks. Top 5 of 5, which we've been waiting for. As how the thumbnail stands, here's your answer. Number 5 is going to be right here. All right. Here it is, everybody. The moment we've all have now consumed and have been waiting for at this very time. So, this very time has been started. So, here it is, guys. This number is going to be top 5 of 5 is the Tennessee Titans. Now, why did the Plants have chosen Tennessee Titans to be at the 5th spot other than not being in 10th? Well, the reason they've chosen it, by the way, by a different choice is because I think in this regard that the Plants may agree on one thing, by the way, and also, pardon me, by the way, pardon me, I meant to say is that, well, to say that the one thing that the plants could agree about, by the way, is that they like the flame. The reason why they like the blue bit of the blue red-ish flame exactly of the Tennessee logo, of Titans logo, is that because I think to believe that, well, the plants just kind of like it better a little bit, besides like, oh, the regular Tennessee ball. Like, it had like 3 stars instead, which I was like, yeah, at this point, I think they could have done it for a 10, by the way, for the last spot, but I don't know. I just really don't kind of care. But for me, I'm just like pretty surprised. Like, I was pretty genuinely surprised, but no idea. In this regard, too, no clue. but as I can say either way, that I think the Plants just like the Tennessee Titans is because I think they just like them to be on number 5 other than being in 10. So I guess that's probably a different scenario, win-win or less win-win anyway, but I don't know. But I guess at least they pretty much like the Tennessee Titans pretty much have to be at the number 5 spot, but like I said, it's going to probably be the only thing that's going to change. And top 10 is pretty much for the Plants' decision of what they actually do like. That would pretty much be of top 10. Exactly, top 10 teams anyway. So there's your guys' answer. And also, the main factor is that I do want to go ahead and say is this question out loud is that the only next number that I will say whenever the next video shows up or what the next video comes around, by the way, that once the next part of the video that comes around pretty soon that I will expect that top 10 is going to probably happen, then yes, top 10 is going to happen for the Plants again, one last time, only on the top 10 NFL teams. And then, of course, the Zombies get a turn to actually do their turn exactly to kind of get what they actually have chosen of top 5 and 10, even though that the Zombies' current favorite of the main favorite team is the Chicago Bears, or better yet, Indiana Bears. Yeah, pretty much. So that's all I can say, anyways. But whatever, man. Just physically, again, whatever. The true point is, well, that's pretty much what the Plants' favorite as their top 5 favorite. Well, pretty much their favorite of number 5 is pretty much Tennessee Titans. But as I can say, by the way, that yes, it still recommends being on the thumbnail. That it's going from best to worst. Exactly. That I think to say that the Plants' favorite will always still be the Dolphins. That will probably be best. And then pretty much at the worst at number 5 would probably be Tennessee Titans. But remember, there are two versions of the same way as top 5 and top 10 will have different alternative versions, but may switch from a different later time zone. But anyway, as I can tell you guys anyway, for now exactly, that is what the Plants' favorite of top 5 favorites are in this very segment of that main reason. So that being said, if you guys enjoy pretty much this video, well, hope that you guys enjoyed it. So as of now, it is time we're going to go ahead and wrap this entire thing up while I go ahead and start speaking a little bit before I even end the video. But anyways, let's go ahead and do that right now. Alright then. Well, looks like the video has now came to an end. So if you guys actually definitely enjoyed it, by the way, let me know down in the comments below exactly. And of course, those were the final answers that the Plants definitely had chosen. So if you guys enjoyed this video, as always, please let me know, by the way, in the comments so that way that you won't miss a single video that comes straight onto this channel likewise. And as always, so if you guys enjoyed it, hope that you guys enjoyed it as well, and hope that you guys enjoyed it too. So, this being said, as always, it is time I wrap this up, and it's time I also sign out anyway. So, if you guys enjoyed the top 5 of the Plants' favorite NFL teams, let me know in the comments below, so that way you won't miss a single video that comes on this channel, and there probably might be another one that will be about top 10 this time, but even longer, but even way longer. But if you guys want to see that, then yes, it will definitely assume that it will happen. And for the main other question, part of the topic too, is the question that will be is that the zombies will also get a turn. They will also get a turn about their favorite NFL teams as well, like 5 and 10 of like top numbers. So yeah, there's your guys' questions. And as I can say already, as of right now, it is time I wrap this up anyway. And as I said before, if you guys enjoy the video, let me know again so you won't miss a single video that comes on this channel. And here's the only things you guys can do right now, as of this currently stands, is give this video a like, comment, and subscribe, hit the bell to be notified. And trust me, I've worked pretty hard to make this video. So as I said again, is there going to be a retake? The answer is obviously going to be the corrected word is that word no. It is not going to be retried again because unfortunately I do not want to like retry the whole video again and explain the same question as I say anyway, which I try to avoid, trying to do a redo again, which if there was, it probably would have screwed my whole talk of the progress of the whole video, which that's pretty important to kind of make this video anyway. Even though people would say is like, oh, why are you making this video for? The main reason I'm making this, by the way, is because I just have no other way just to kind of decide the choice and say is like, you know what, I'm just gonna say what the Plants' favorite numbers are going to be and what their favorite NFL teams even are. So that's why I came over here and made this video. That's what I did that for. And that's why I say. But for now, this is the Lord of the Zombies speaking. And I will say this again. Thank you for enjoying this video. And if you're a new person on this P vs. Z channel, of Devin-Foxy's P vs. Z channel, go ahead and subscribe on the 6th channel so that way that will continue another number that will be from pretty much top 1 all the way to top 10. So if you guys want to see that happening, as I said again from the previous amount of numbers, as I said from the timestamps, that yes, I'd say again that there is going to be best versus worst. Like right now, the best version of right now, that the best on right here on this version is the Philadelphia Eagles, because the Plants have chosen their second favorite is Philadelphia Eagles. And then the 10th favorite, by the way, that is the last number, by the way. Well, for the last number, as I said, you guys will have to figure it out and also make a few guesses by knowing who would that actually would be to know what would be the only number that could be for only number 10. So, for right now, guys, only we have to focus right now will be only 6 and from all the way 6 at 10. So, if you guys want to see that, then yes, it'll continue and it will continue as always as what we're going to be doing right now. So, if you guys want to see the next number, that would be top 10 favorites of their NFL teams. As I said, go ahead and subscribe. And feel free again to subscribe on this 6th channel, including all my channels, by the way, and my separate channels. Feel again to definitely subscribe. And for those who might feel bored by saying is like, oh, when is there going to be another video coming out? As I said before too, the same question as I said is please subscribe to my separate channels, by the way. That is definitely on my main channel. That's when you guys can find my separate channels without not actually being bored. So if you guys can do that, appreciate it. As always, will be appreciated, my friend, and definitely 100% very thoughtful and appreciated at the same time. So thank you all very much for watching. See you later. See you next time. And I'll see you later as always and sign right out.